Hey everybody, hey mamas. Today we're going to go over how to breastfeed for the first time. So this is something that is obviously very important and will set you up for success. So the first thing that we're going to go over is educate yourself. Before I go into it, obviously, my name is Lacey. I am your lactation counselor and I write at theearlymotherhoodguide.com, and it is everything you need to know about breastfeeding. So back to it. We are going to talk about breastfeeding for the first time. And the number one thing that you need to do is educate yourself. So join a breastfeeding class, take one, whether it's online or in person at your hospital, read a breastfeeding book, talk to other mamas, learn what it's going to be like to breastfeed for the first time, because it is going to be very overwhelming if you are trying to learn as you're there at the hospital. So first and foremost, just learn what you need to be doing. So one of my favorite books is you have The Womanly Art of Breastfeeding from the La Leche League. And then you also have the Ina May's Guide to Breastfeeding. That one is also absolutely amazing. I love that book. Tons of amazing information. And then you can join a class. I have a class, and I also have a free boot camp that I do, and you will be learning tons and tons and tons of information in those. And I hold that boot camp every once in a while. So be sure to join the wait list, and I will link that down below. But yeah, making sure that you're well educated, because you have no idea the struggles that you will come, because really every breastfeeding relationship is going to be different, right? So if you have more knowledge, the more prepared that you will be and the more set up for success that you will be for breastfeeding. And the second one is also very important, is share your intentions at the hospital. So you want to share at the hospital when you give birth or before you give birth, have it on your birth plan that you intend to breastfeed right away. So they might not be I think it's called a baby friendly hospital. So sometimes they will not bring your baby right away, or they might introduce a bottle because they don't assume that you're going to breastfeed. So share your intentions with everyone at your hospital or your birth center. If you're doing a home birth, I think they assume that you're going to be breastfeeding. But at least in my experience at birth centers, it has always been that they assume that you're breastfeeding. So, but if you are at a hospital, which my first I had at a hospital, it is very important to let them know so they can get the lactation consultant to you as soon as possible. But also, as you give, like right as you give birth, you want that baby right to your chest and nurse within a couple minutes if possible. My first, I waited for like an hour, and I really wish I didn't. There's that golden hour. And that's only if it's possible, right? So sometimes that's not possible, and it wasn't possible. It didn't ruin the breastfeeding relationship, but it's always best if it can be straight out of the womb, right onto your chest and breastfeed. So they will not know at the hospital if you don't share that's your intentions. So just make sure to let them know. And my third tip for today is get help when you need it. So if it is hurting or you don't feel like they are efficiently transferring milk when your baby is nursing, you need to get help as soon as possible, because in the beginning, it can be really detrimental to your breast milk supply, or it could ruin, like you do not want cracked nipples. And that is something that is completely preventable. So if you are having the same pain in the same spot over and over again, that could lead to cracked nipples, and that is going to not make you want to nurse on that side, which will have a bad supply on that side because you're not getting the demand that's needed. And so it is just better right away. Let's say like they're making a clicking sound. Okay, what is that? Oh, now we know that there's an issue. It's not a deep enough latch, or it's a tongue tie. So I can't get a deep enough latch. How can we fix that? So if you're not taking interventions as soon as possible, you're not going to know that they can be fixed. So many mamas are struggling through breastfeeding, and they don't realize that cracked nipples or clogged milk ducts is something that can be prevented, or that they have a low milk supply, but they didn't know that it was a bad latch. So it is so imperative to continue to get support. And if you feel if something is off, don't wait. Go meet with a lactation consultant. You can always talk to me as well. I'm always here answering questions, but there's so much more that I would absolutely love to share with you guys in this live. But if I did, I think this would be hours and hours long, especially for the first time. There is so much to be shared with breastfeeding for the first time. But I do have a ton of information on my website, which is earlymotherhoodguide.com. And so you can always read all the information there. I have hundreds of articles there I have written. And then you can also join my lactation. I'm a lactation counselor, so you can always join my boot camp that I have on boosting your breast milk supply, and that will also set you up for success. Even if you haven't started, let's say you're pregnant and you're learning, which go you mama, that's exactly where you need to be, is learning. Join that boot camp. I give you guys so much amazing free information on it. And then you can always book a call with me and we can work one-on-one, or you can join my course. And there is tons and tons and tons of information on that. So I will share those links below and we can go so much more in depth together on preparing you for breastfeeding for the first time. So I hope that was everything and there's so much more, obviously, but I would love to see you guys tomorrow. I will be talking about how to defrost breast milk fast. A lot of people don't realize that sometimes you have a screaming baby, they're hungry, and you just need that milk warmed up as soon as possible. But if you do have the wrong bottle warmer or you warm it up too fast, you can kill all the amazing nutrients that are in your breast milk, which was kind of the whole point of breastfeeding, right? So it is so important. So be sure to come tomorrow. I would love to share with you guys, and go ahead and click the link that I'm sharing below. We have about reading more about breastfeeding for the first time and also joining my boot camp that is coming up in January. So I hope to see you guys there.